little different, like I said, because I have found that there's quite a few people pretty darn stumped about how to do surface area of a 3D object, okay? Not because it's hard to find the surface area of a rectangle, it's not hard. It's not hard to find the surface area of a triangle. It's just hard to assign those measurements from a 3D picture onto your one-dimensional paper and then get your measurements in the right spots and whatnot. So what we're going to do then is we're going to practice together in partners for a little while. And then I'm going to look at your homework assignments. Some of us might have succeeded. You'll have a different assignment than the ones who need to redo the work, okay? So how many of you haven't turned your homework in at all, okay? So you need to have that out and you need to be working on it while everybody else has another activity to do. Okay, just stay put. While I'm giving instructions, you should bring your stuff to class, okay? So you have to be prepared, so that's probably a yellow slip for not bringing it. Diego. Okay, go outside in the hallway and grab a Tuesday worksheet, please. Okay, anybody else who wasn't here? Okay, all right, so the rest of you, I'm assuming then did turn in your homework and did your very best. I'm gonna grade those really quick, and then partway through the class period, I'm gonna have us stop doing our activity that we're doing together, and I'm gonna put you back to work doing some redos if you need to redo your homework assignment questions, okay? But I'll give a little more instruction as time progresses throughout this class period. So those of you at home, you just need to know I'm not teaching a new lesson today. Our agenda has changed then. So like I said, we will have a test next Monday. Nah, we're probably having that test Tuesday. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm not giving the new lesson that I was going to give you today. And that's why I don't like to try to give people homework ahead of time when they're leaving. Okay? Because my plans change. It's a whole new curriculum that I'm teaching this year. So I have a hard time saying, okay, I'm going to be gone next week for Thursday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I'm not exactly sure how many times I'm going to have to stop and do some reteaching and helping. So with that being said, you're still going to have to wait. Okay? So anywho, so those of you at home, here's your assignment. Your assignment is to finish the homework that you did yesterday, get it turned into me somehow, get a picture of it, do it in Cami, however you can do it, and then I'll check yours after school today, and you might have homework if you need to redo any of the questions. Okay, so I'm gonna let people miss 2 or 3 questions, but if they got a whole bunch wrong, I'm gonna reassign the homework and tell them which questions they have to redo, okay, for those of us at home. So just kind of keep an eye out after you've turned in your homework assignment digitally, and you'll know whether or not you have homework tonight for math, okay? All right, so the activity we're gonna do today is the Easter eggs up front. I'm sure y'all noticed them, okay? Of course, Easter eggs in math class are gonna have presents in them, like not the kind you eat or the kind you can spend at the grocery store on candy, but they have, of course, math problems in them, right? And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna partner up. You and your partner get to grab an Easter egg with a fun math problem in it. And of course, it's going to be either a triangular prism, finding the surface area of a triangular prism, or finding the surface area of a rectangular prism, okay? Once you and your partner are done, you need to find another group that's willing to swap with you that are also done, okay? So they're going to look at your work, you're going to look at their work, and then you're going to see if you agree or disagree with their answers and talk to one another about why or why not. Okay, so we're going to get some discussion going today. Questions?
Yeah, like it happened.
Okay, I'm going to look at the chats then real quick. Everybody's muted. I don't hear anybody. Don't worry about it, Kylan. Brody, yes, you might have homework. Micah, what about us at home? Well, that means if you've turned in your work and later today when I grade it and I need you to redo it, you might have homework. Okay, so for this time period right now, you won't have like work to do. You're going to kind of have to wait and see if your homework has to be redone. But I would stick here in case I do a little more instruction. I mean, what the heck? You can leave us on, and I'll unmute when I need you guys to pay attention. So you might be working on maybe some reading or some social studies. And then if you don't have anything else to do, grab a library book or something to read and just wait by your computer. And when I pipe up again and unmute, I'll have you watch what I'm instructing on at that point in time. Okay, so just hang out with us. Enjoy your company. All right, I miss you guys. I don't want you to miss out today. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do the flippity real quick. So you have a partner. Flippity doodah. Hey, my husband, story time. Story time. My husband made a new word. Okay, he had to go on a trip this weekend to go pick up a truck. And he loves this truck. It's an old cab over. He has an old cab over Pete, and he thinks it's the perfect semi truck. So he called it, instead of immaculate or perfect, he called it manaculous. It's his word. It's his new word. It's manaculous. Immaculate and miraculous shoved together. I love it. Okay, Mariah, are you here? Do you have your homework turned in? Okay. Maya, are you here?
No.
Diego, do you have your homework turned in? Oh, you were gone yesterday, so you're going to start today on this. Okay. Corey, you have your homework turned in? Victoria. Britt. If you're almost done, I'll still count it as done. Okay. Isaac.
Here.
And do you have your homework turned in? Wesley.
Here.
Do you have your homework turned in? Okay. Bridger.
I'm here. I'm still working on it.
Rylan.
Yep.
Hayden. Grayson. Awesome. Malia. And Nellie. Okay, you're working on yours still, so I'm going to take you off of there, okay? Kylan. Yeah, but do you have enough time to finish it? All right. So I'll take you off then. Kaylin, did you turn yours in? Okay. Josh, I watched you turn yours in. Dave. Yes and yes. Kylie, you turned yours in? Very good. Madison? Yes and yes. All right. Brody, I'm gonna cross you off. Okay. So, is there anybody here that turned in their homework that I didn't call their name? So I'm not putting you on the list then. Okay. So those of us who don't have our homework turned in, we have that out. We're working on it. Those of us who are going to get a partner, the one on the top gets to pick the Easter egg. Okay. I thought I just did that. I had already done that.
Okay, I'm done.
The one on top has to pick the Easter egg first. Victoria gets to pick her group. Okay, you and Nellie will be in a group together.
Oh, me and Nellie?
Yeah, whoever Nellie's with, you'll be with you. Okay, those of us at home, this is where I'm going to go ahead and mute.
Whoever Nellie's with will be with us.
So should Corey go with Victoria?
Corey goes with Victoria, sorry.
Corey goes with Tori.
And then I go
grab
with
egg.
Nellie.
Grab any egg.
I like green egg. I like green egg.
You're with Hayden and Nellie.
Can you use a week?
What about the one about Mariah? So do our two groups just work together?
Oh, I did put you on there. I thought I cut you off. I thought I crossed you off. So you actually just stay with the person. Sorry, I thought I crossed your name off. Yep, and you can work at the whiteboards anywhere. You can erase my stuff. Okay, my turn to talk, your turn to listen. Number one, it's way too noisy, okay? We have people sitting at desks, they're gonna be trying to work. Number two, I said no bell ringers today because we have redo work we're gonna get done. Number three, you're going to either work at the whiteboards or you can grab a dry erase marker pocket thingy, or you can just do it on paper at a set of desks with your partner. But you have to use a voice level of almost 0 so that we can still concentrate on our work. And no, you cannot use your planner.
So
And a student in good standing card to avoid having a yellow slip for forgetting things. Sorry. You may begin.
Okay, so personally, I'm not very good at this. See, this is the person. This would be a lot easier if we had it'd be a lot easier if we had one of them because that actually has squares.
you know what? You're right.
Yeah, see,
All right. Well, we're gonna head out. We can use it for calculations, sure. I'm just trying to
yeah, see, this is.
Yeah.
And we can just switch it out whenever we want. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait.
It's just a tip. It's a lot easier to use this. Because I actually have
Okay, don't come up all the way. Walk forward.
Yeah, let's just change that.
Where's that?
Okay.
I don't think that's the voice level alone.
Around 113 here. 113 on each side. 13 on
If you do that on your mouth, please tell me like you do that.
I did.
That's not how you're supposed to do it.
We could do this. I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Now I need a pen.
Right there. I need a pencil.
Okay. Right now it is.
Yeah, pen down there.
Okay, so this is the that's what that is. You said 294. Wait, I don't know.
He's like, if this is the back side, that means oh, that's
Well, then again, you could also just.
but it also works.
Yeah, it did. Wait,
Okay, whoever's pounding on the doors or the walls or whatever, you got neighbors.
Yeah, okay.
Once you and your partner are done, you trade and you talk to each other respectfully about your answers. And then once you come to an agreement or agree to disagree, start a new problem with your partner.
what? Yeah, because you unfold it. Everybody, you turn kind of circle there. So you unfold it, and then you like. When you think about math, you unfold this, and there's some kind of surface area, and then you do area with the right kind of area.
Yeah, but I still don't see anywhere.
Everything is so, this is I'm always.
I knew it.
Okay, like I said, if you guys can't agree with answers between the partners, you can go ahead and agree to disagree and start a new problem.
Just about. And this question is how I have to unfold things.
What is that?
Oh, I'm done with it yet. Yeah.
Just act like you're folding it up.
Yeah. Yeah, you unfold it.
It's not that. It's not. Is anybody done?
You guys fucking idiot.
I don't want
I'm not talking about you.
Why am I?
Are you done yet? Okay, so see how you, when you fold this up, you have two sides like that, okay? And when you fold that up, you're gonna make that. We pulled the short end of the stick. We can't find it. Okay. Wait, I want to correct your answer. Okay. We challenge you. Correct our. Oh, you probably need our. Another pink one. Okay, so now. How you get down?
13 right here, not here.
You guys need to write error if a blank pen width. So yeah, you guys do multiple question. You guys did the right one. Okay, so that's what blank 3. And then 39. 49 times 6. 39. Area equals length times width. If it's a cube, I will fix it. 78. Go find new egg. How did I get 39? You look like your times 3.
Oh.
Yeah. Over. Yeah. 39, my guy.
Okay, I'm checking.
Times 3.
Okay, I get it.
39 plus 39 is 98 plus 5. And then 3 is 9 and then you add it together.
Okay, are we done?
Okay, make that noise stop. It's not only annoying, but it's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
No, we can't. We have to use
Anybody else other than those two does?
Yeah. You want to check out once you finish? Yeah.
Want to switch eats? Yours was 96 meters.
I can finish this. This was on purpose.
And you? Ours was 198.
Look at the kitty cat. It's a kitty cat. It's a kitty cat. It's a kitty
It
cat.
looks like boomerang.
Look at that.
A spike boomerang. 198.
Boomerang.
Just give me the egg and not
This frozen? Okay. What is it?
Don't worry about it. That's what Andrew says at the beginning.
Hey, I think that we're almost ready to get things put away. So if you're almost done with your question, try to swap when you're done, and then I'm gonna have you guys get back to seats. So if you are done, please put your eraser back, and then just get back to your seats. Make sure you wipe your desk, or wipe your answers and questions off the board.
Who dares to challenge me? Me. Okay, I'm already done. I will not challenge me. I'm the worst. I will not let you take it.
Who else is finished?
I'm finished. I'm finished. I'm gonna do another one. Come on, decide mine. What are you done? I didn't run any of them. Okay, Mark, yes, I think.
You guys are so wrong.
Okay, this hurts my okay. So you would say that that's bad. This is top. This is super. Yeah. Bottom. Side.
I mean, what number? It's 72.
I'm sorry. How do you know that?
No.
6 times 4.
You guys are off by like 100.
Yeah, 6 times 4 plus 3 times 4.
There is no 6 times 4.
That's 20.
No, there is no 4. Yeah. You have to draw and then
No more time to
so all that stuff
sorry.
is right. You might not have mentioned. So my math is going to get about 45. This is 12. I know this is 12. Well, this is 7. 7 plus 12.
Okay, back to your seats for sure, please.
You guys were off by like, I don't know how many numbers.
I'm going to get Kaden and Madison out first. So I've got some directions for them. So while you're silently getting back to your own spot, putting the Easter eggs away and wiping off the board, I would like Kaden and Madison to listen carefully to your instructions. You'll need to grab a piece of paper, and you'll need to grab an empty Toblerone candy bar package and a ruler. What you're going to do is you're going to measure a Toblerone package. You can work together, and you're going to solve for the surface area of that triangular prism. Okay? And so if you didn't bring a ruler, I've got rulers over there. And since it's going to be kind of noisy in here, you guys can do that in the hallway together if you'd like. Okay? You may begin. The rest of us are going to go to our seats and listen for instructions. Wipe down with it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and unmute then because our people here. So what I had kind of suspected did come out to be true. We did struggle, just like first period struggle, just like I anticipate fourth and sixth period to have struggles with this. Okay, it is difficult to visualize where you're going to put your measurements from a two-dimensional figure and then another two-dimensional object, a flat piece of paper, when we're talking about three-dimensional surfaces, right? So we're going to go back in and have a couple more examples, and then you guys are going to get your papers back, and the questions you got wrong, you have to redo. So we don't have a new assignment today. Instead, we kind of have a second go at the old one, okay? Nobody's in trouble. Nobody's going to get a bad grade, and that would push the test back a day next week. So like I've been saying, our test is going to be on Tuesday. Well, it's not. Or Monday, it's going to be on Tuesday, okay? I've been saying Monday is probably when our test will be, yada, 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 probably will be Tuesday. Questions about that? No. No. Okay, so knowing what you know now, you don't have a new homework assignment. You will get your old homework assignment back, and you'll see which ones you need to redo because I've marked them for you. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to go over a couple more examples so you have a chance to see another example of how to solve the problem. Hopefully you've had a good work together with your partners and then the other two partners that looked at your work and critiqued it and helped you through it. Okay, so Diego, you can just keep listening to the old lesson. You don't need to listen to the new one. All right. Evan, what are you talking about? Okay.
Well, I think he's correcting Kylan's there.
He is correcting Kylan's there. Meh. Let's not to be too super picky in math class about grammar. Don't ever tell Mrs. Mueller I said that.
Okay, got it. Tell her.
Okay, we're ready to begin. So I'm going to open up a jam. Okay. And I'm going to tell you this. I don't remember yesterday if I was telling you that you could use nets. Did I tell you you could use nets? Okay. Here's what I'm going to tell you today. You can use nets. I encourage you to use nets to solve your problems about three-dimensional shapes. However, if it's difficult for you to visualize the net that's all connected together, you can separate the pieces of the object out. They don't have to be connected to each other in the net for you to solve the problem. Okay, so if you look at question number 4 up on the board, okay, notice that I have a picture of the net, what it would look like, but I didn't use the net to solve that problem. Instead, I separated the different pictures apart. So this is number 4 from your yesterday's homework. And we went over this yesterday. I don't remember if I told you you can separate it apart instead of using the net. Did I say that? You don't know? Okay. So what I'm saying is if you don't want to use the net that's all glued together on your paper, you can go ahead and do this. Make 2 triangles because every triangular prism has a front and a back triangle, right? Those are the bases. Okay. And then you make the 3 rectangles that'll go with it. Okay. Do they have to be to scale? Not necessarily, but you can make them to scale if you want. on your grid papers, okay? Pretty important little bit of information. On your paper, this dotted line has a 3 by it, and this line right here has an 8. Those are your heights and bases, okay? Because your height and base has to be perpendicular to one another and meet at the point opposite of the base. You know what I mean? So these guys over here, which were 5, these side lengths, they are not your bases. You must call them just side lengths. Your bases for your formula, area equals 1/2 height times base times height. So you can't use the 5s. You have to use the 3 and the 8. Okay, that's one important little bit of information. Do you have to calculate that twice? No, because doesn't this triangle match exactly to that triangle because its base is exactly the same? It is. So if you look though carefully at the triangular prism that's on your paper, which you don't have your paper yet, I'll give it back in a minute, you can see that it's like a tent. And the left-hand side of the tent and the right-hand side of the tent, both of those measure 4 by 5. So according to our formula for area of a rectangle, you would use 4 times 5 to find the area of that, right? So what are those two rectangles valued? 20 square units, right? But that one on the bottom, remember, is connected here. Those are 8-inch lines or whatever units there were. Yeah, inches. Okay, so those are 8 by 4. So that particular one is a different length rectangle. So what is that? If you plug it into the formula for area equals length times width. Okay, units squared. Okay, this is what I should see for your working on your paper. If you just have a list of these types of things on your paper and no pictures, I tomorrow am going to make you redo your whole paper because I want you to use the shapes. I don't care if the nets are connected like that net is back there, right? That's all connected to itself. Or you can use the nets like this, all separate shapes from one another. That's fine. But if you're not drawing the pictures and assigning the pictures side lengths, different side lengths, based on what the picture is showing, then you're going to probably stay confused. So that's why I'm going to insist that you draw the shapes, okay? So when I'm done with all of this, then I'm going to take all those areas. I have right here, what's my area of the triangles? 1/2 times 3 times 8.
12.
It is 12 because half of 8 is 4 and 4 times 3 is 12. So I have 2 triangles like that. So I have 2 12s. I have 2 20s because those two left and right rectangles are matching. And then a 32. So what was my answer for number 4? Mm-hmm. And you had that answer yesterday. But the only point I'm trying to make today is if you have a tough time making a triangular prism net, try making all 4 of the shapes. I meant not 4, but 5. Triangular prisms have 2 triangles and then 3 rectangles, sorry. Try making those shapes separate from one another. They do not have to connect. Questions? No? I found a lot of people who used grid paper did a lot better than those who didn't use grid paper. Okay, so they use grid paper, and even most of the questions you can use 1 unit per 1 unit on your picture. So you literally could then, when you're done with the rectangular prisms, you could count all the squares and you'd have your answer as well. Can I show you one other thing before we go and get back to work? Okay, here's this one other thing I want to show you. Please put your hand down, save it for later. All right. One of my students yesterday noticed this, and this was actually in our slideshow. So I'm going to switch over to the slideshow and talk to you about this. Okay, slides. She was thinking outside the box, and she was telling us, oh, guess what? You can use different formulas if you can find different shapes in your nets. Okay. Some of you who go to Miss Jensen's room probably already know that too. Okay, so let's look at that real quick. I need to get to my notes that we did yesterday. Shh. Sorry for making that noise. I always make that noise when I'm kind of just irritated that my computer is working really slowly today. Do you guys notice that, or is it just my imagination? It is really slow, isn't it? I'm going to open this one, and then I'm going to hit present. Can you guys at home see that? Do I have it in present mode for you guys? I think I do. Okay. All right. So I've got it in present mode, and I'm going to talk to you about what this kid saw on this net. Okay. This kid saw a trapezoid and then two rectangles. Rock on, right? Isn't that cool? So I said, yeah, if you want to, you can find the area of that trapezoid. Okay, so we just have to remember back to what the formula for a trapezoid is. It's 1/2 height times base 1 plus base 2. Okay, then you just fill in for that one. So 1/2 times the height. Well, how far is it between this parallel line and this parallel line?
4.
It is 4. So I'm going to put the height is 4. Okay, times base 1. Well, they tell us that this base is 7. And then they tell us that this base is also 7 from here to here, but it also has plus 3 more. How much is that?
13.
Beautiful. So my bigger base is 13. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little mathing. Is that 20?
20.
Okay, so then what is half of 4? And so the area of that trapezoid is 40. Okay, so then all I have to do is find the area of this guy, which we already did. 7 times 5, right, for that one is 35. And then this one is 7 times 3, which is 21. Isn't that cool? Cool that she saw this? Okay, I totally hadn't even thought about that. I mean, I knew about it and we talked about it in further on math classes, but I've never had or thought of teaching 6th graders to look for other shapes that they know the formulas to. So if you want to do that, of course, I'll need to see that in your math thinking on your math homework. Okay, so don't any of you be feeling bad because you did crappy on your math assignment. Okay, I'm handing papers back and I'm not handing them back to you angry. I'm handing them back to you because you just need to do some corrections, do a little more deeper math thinking, and then turn it back in tomorrow, okay? No grades have been put in for this assignment at all. Capiche? So no parents know how we did on this until you redo it and I put the assignments grade in, okay? Can I work with a partner quietly and talk about these problems? Yes. Can I come in during study hall and get help from Mrs. Frandsen, as long as you remember to get your planner signed by me so that Mrs. Lunderby will let you go? Yes. Okay, so for the remainder of the class period, you're going to be working on redos, okay? And I only want one person at my desk at a time and one person waiting in line. I don't want 7 people waiting in line to talk to me, okay? Because I've given you guys permission to talk to someone else in the room. Try talking to someone else before you come ask me a question, okay? All right, with that being said, I'm going to give you the rest of the class period to get this done. Hand back your papers, and those of you at home, just keep plugging away until I correct your assignments, I guess.
Yippee.
Okay, everybody say bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.